Hi, good evening. Thanks for taking time out of your night to hang out with us for a little bit here with the Illinois College of Business. My name is Anthony Fontana. I am the Associate Director of Admissions. I'm the one that's been bombarding your email. So thank you for getting through those and being here to ask some questions and talk with our students. We're in the last week before you have to make your decisions. Some of you may have already made that decision. And so these students are here really just to answer any questions you might have. We have a few to start off with. You can also put questions into the comment section of the YouTube video, but I'm going to let them do introductions and we'll get started.
Great. My name is Landon Cruz. I'm a junior in the Marketing and Information Systems and Information Technology program here. I am from a small town downstate called Marshall, Illinois. I came from a really small high school of like 82 students in my graduating class. I'm involved with the admissions students here at the University or the College of Business. So if you come and take a tour, I will be one of the people that will take you on that tour. So hope to hear some of the questions you guys have.
Hi, my name is Tracy Smolin. I'm a Master's of Accounting student here at Illinois. I also did my undergrad here, and I graduated last spring. I'm from Highland Park, Illinois, went to Highland Park High School, and looking forward to hopefully seeing some of you around this.
Hi, guys. My name is Anthony Borkowski. I'm a freshman studying finance. And I'm from a pretty large high school. I went to Maine South High School. It's located in Park Ridge, Illinois. So yeah, hope to see you guys around. I'm involved with job or shadowing. So if you come down and shadow a class, I'll probably be the one shadowing you. So hope to see you guys down here.
All right, very good. So we have a few questions that people had already posted. And so we're going to start off with the first one. Landon, I'm going to throw this at you because I know it is most applicable. It's from Andrew from Chicago. Is admission into Business Council, and we'll say the other business fraternities as well, available to you as a freshman?
Yeah. So one of the cool things about the College of Business, since you are admitted directly as a freshman, one of the things is that you really want to get involved as early as you can. And so there's almost 25 business organizations here in the College of Business, and I'm involved in one called Business Council. And so as a freshman, from the first couple weeks that you're on campus, you do have the ability to get right involved in those business organizations. So from the first couple weeks that you're here on campus, you'll get a network of 150 people or 200 people, depending on what organization you join. But it's a cool way to have, a professional side, a service side, and a social side here on campus that really opens your doors to 4 years here of what it's going to be like. But that's one thing I recommend everyone do is when you get here on campus, get involved. I'm sure you guys will have some Tracy to say.
Tracy, what about you? I know you were in Phi Gamma Nu. When did you join that, and what things did you get involved in?
Sure. So I'm in one of the business fraternities that Anthony mentioned. All the business organizations are great to join, but I feel like students often hear about these business fraternities, business council. They kind of all serve the same purpose that Landon just talked about: social, philanthropy, professionalism. I rushed the business fraternities as a second semester freshman. So there's rush in the fall, there's rush in the spring. You can rush multiple times. I also joined a social sorority here on campus, and then I also worked in admissions when I was in undergrad. So I kind of got my feet wet, in Greek life, but also business fraternities, and I had a job while I was here on campus too. So staying involved and active in many different kind of ways is very doable.
So another question that we have is regarding the four-year graduation rate in the college. So I'll take that one. We are graduating our students at an incredibly high rate. We give students 9 semesters to graduate from the College of Business, so you can't spend all of mom and dad's money for 7 years. But right now we're graduating about 83% of our students in that time frame. 90% of our students will graduate from the University of Illinois, so there is a small percentage that will decide, I want to be a history teacher and transfer over and go do that and end up graduating and having great jobs. And so our students, we just recently were ranked as business school #1 return on investment in the Big Ten for all the business schools, which is great because that not only takes into account how much money you're going to have or how much money you'll make when you start working, or what sort of job placement rate we have. It also looks at graduation rates. So it's really focusing on are students leaving and going to work on time, and that's definitely the case with the vast majority of our students. We give students an extra 9 semester in case they need it. We had one student intern at the White House last year, so he took a semester off and then he'll finish up next semester. More students will graduate in 7 semesters, so 3.5 years, than will need the 9th semester. So the caliber of student and the ability for you to get everything done is pretty well put together. And I think the follow-up question to that is, have you guys had any difficulty getting into the classes that you need? And what's the difference between a class that you need and a class that you want?
Okay, so I guess I could start with this one because I actually just registered yesterday. So really, when you enter the College of Business as a freshman, you want to, especially if you don't have a lot of AP credits, you want to get all of your business core requirements done. So that's like math classes and introductory level, just classes in general. So getting into the classes, especially the business classes, you won't have any trouble getting into them. Some of them will be filled up when you register, but that will always change. There's always people switching classes, and I think you guys can attest to that. And especially with classes that you want. So in addition to the business core classes, you also have to take just general classes through the university, and those are classes that you want. So, and those are classes that are a lot harder to get into. So you're gonna really have to pick and choose and really see what you want to do.
But there are 400 classes that you can take for a science class. And then you had, what, 2 options that you could take for science when you were in high school?
Yeah, and if it didn't fit into your schedule, you were just done for. There was no way to get into it. But here, it's awesome. I mean, I've only had trouble getting into one class, and that was the Introduction to Atmospheric Sciences class, which everyone on campus wants to take. But other than that, I have not had trouble registering for any single classes. I did have a few 8 a.m.s, but just built the character at this point.
That's the difference between a class that you need and a class that you want, and the same thing happens with times.
Yeah.
Tracy, did you ever run into any issues with classes?
I took every class, I took every class that I wanted to take, and I never hit an 8 a.m. So it is doable. But no, I would say space is definitely not an issue at all, especially in the business classes.
And even in the first few weeks, if you find out that you need to switch to another class, there's usually spots open in those classes. If you decide that, this class isn't for me, I want to take up something else, you should be good to go.
Anthony, since you're a freshman and you kind of are the one that's faced with the horrific, I guess, myth, how big are your classes?
Okay, so they're actually kind of large. In relation to a high school class where there's only 30 people in there, they're pretty big and they look daunting, but they're really not as daunting as you think. You go to a lecture, and my Econ 102 lecture, which was a microeconomics class, it was probably the biggest class I'll ever take here. There was about 500 students in that class. But in addition to the lecture, there's breakout sections. We call them discussion sections, and you are in a class that's the size of a high school class, and you have kind of that one-on-one with your TA. And in addition to that, you can also go to office hours, which are something that I think all people should take advantage of. And I know they're easy to pass over, but you definitely should take advantage of those. That really is the one-on-one with a teacher that you would get in a high school classroom. So they seem daunting, the large classes at first, but you really need to learn how to manage your time. And once you do that, it really is a piece of cake.
Now, are all of your classes that big, or is there a mix in your schedule?
Oh, there's definitely a mix. I mean, the big classes that you're going to take are all of your introductory level classes. So, and that includes your business classes too. So I'm in Accounting 201, which is the first business class that you'll take, and that's about 200 students. But the good thing about the business school is once you specialize, your classes aren't going to be that big, and I think you guys can attest to that too. So you're going to be in the larger classes your first couple of years, but there are opportunities to break that down and really take the dauntingness out of it.
Yeah, I always found that when I would go to those big lectures like the econ, the introductory to accounting, which, by the way, no matter if you want to study marketing, accounting, finance, whatever it may be, all business students are going to take these business core classes. So no matter what, you'll have 2 accounting classes, 1 finance class, a handful of business administration classes. But the point being that, if you go to class, you sit down, sit towards the front, and you pay attention, you're not even going to notice how many people are around you. And like Anthony said, you go to the small breakout class on Friday, whenever it is. By that point, you will have read the text, done the problems, you can ask your questions, and get all the help you need. And then once you hit the junior, senior level, when you're in, if you declare accountancy and you're in the upper level accountancy classes, there's going to be 25 to 35 people in your class. and that way it feels more kind of like the normal class size that you're probably used to in high school. But I never thought that class size was an issue when I was here.
We had one question about financial aid, and I'm going to tackle this question first, and I'm going to kind of throw it back to you all. So if you're having any issues with your FAFSA at this point, or you need anything done with that, my best recommendation is call the Office of Student Financial Aid. You can look them up on the website. I believe their phone number is 217-333-0100. So obviously you're not the first person to ask about financial aid questions. And so then they'll be able to reach out and help you with that process. Maybe talk about the scholarship process in the college and like what sorts of opportunities did you have for scholarships, or what do you know anything about the process to get or apply for scholarships in the college business?
Sure, you can apply for scholarships. I believe it's in the spring.
Yep.
And there's both academic, so merit scholarships and financial scholarships. And then I believe you hear back towards the end of the spring semester, like right before the next academic year. So there definitely are scholarships available. Do apply. You can go online. Anthony can probably tell you where exactly, and you can actually see the list of them that are available. So definitely check it out. Not all the students know that they're out there, especially the merit ones. So definitely apply for those.
And there's a lot that are major specific too, so like they know that if you're a marketing major, well, they can give you specific scholarships that somebody gave to that they just want to go to marketing. Or if you're in accountancy, the same. So there's a lot out there depending on where you're from or what your major is. So there's quite a few options.
Yeah, if you check out the college business website, under current students, there's a scholarship tab, and that will give you a really long list of all the scholarships in the college business. When you apply for those, so even if you come in to the college and you don't have any scholarships, that doesn't mean you're never going to have a scholarship from the college business. A lot of those scholarships are specifically tagged for upperclassmen, so it might be that you have to declare a major before you can be eligible for one of those scholarships. So you apply, and you don't have to apply individually for each one. You do one big application. There's like 3 essays that you have to write. It's pretty quick, and then you're able to have access to those. Talk a little bit about the job placement stuff. I think, Tracy, you're probably going to be our resident expert on this, but I'm going to start with a question regarding finance. You know, a lot of times students, our accounting program tends to be very high profile. Sometimes you don't necessarily think about the marketing management majors in finding jobs, and even, you know, in finance with investment banking. So what sorts of opportunities have you guys seen or heard of for investment banking on campus for recruitment?
Sure. So actually, again, I'm in accountancy, but I can speak to some of the finance and investment banking aspects too. My roommate actually currently is going to be an investment banker. There's a great program, maybe you could talk about it too, called Investment Banking Academy. It's for students that are really interested in investment banking. It's fairly new. It's about 3 years old, and it has a 100% placement rate. These students are in Chicago. There's a handful in New York, working at both bulge bracket firms and then also the medium set. I know there's boutique, bulge, and in the middle. But so yeah, I mean, I was telling Anthony before we started tonight, I actually have a couple friends that are coming down to Champaign this weekend to run the marathon, and they're all investment bankers. And it's really awesome. I think Illinois has some skewed perception that people can't get investment banking jobs out of here, but I have found that's really not the truth at all. And I think in the past couple of years, people have really started exploring that field out of this program. As for myself personally, I've had the opportunity to intern at 3 different accountancy firms. 2 were the Big 4 firms, and then 1 was a middle market firm. And I'm working at PricewaterhouseCoopers after graduation. I interned there this past summer, and I'll be in their audit practice. So I'm really excited about that. I'm working through my CPA now, which one of the really great benefits of staying for your 5th year to get your master's in accounting is that you won't be working your job while trying to sit for the CPA. So I have found that to be really beneficial. I'm a part-time student because I took classes early, started the program early, and I can really focus my efforts on the CPA like a lot of my peers. So that's one of the really great benefits of doing that program here.
Yeah, we're lucky to have such great career services as far as like internship placement and job placement. So we have something called iLink, which is where you go on there and you put your resume, and it's kind of like a dating website for finding jobs, actually. So like you put in all your preferences of like what you want to do, like where you want to live within like a certain zip code, and then they put in all of, like a company will put in like their internships available, and then they'll actually match you to the jobs that you're available for, or that you match with. And then you can just go on there and click at different jobs, and then you have applied to 10 internships in a matter of 10 minutes. So, there's over 300 companies that come here every single year. 300 or 400?
Over 400 actually
that come here every single year, looking for all kinds of majors across campus, and especially the College of Business.
Just going off that too, iLink is a great way to try to find a job, but also I think at the Illinois, and I'm sure if you come down to campus and met with students, you've heard that we're, kind of like a family in the College of Business, and it's really true. I find that one of the reasons I picked Illinois is that I thought it was my perception. I found that it's very true that students enjoy helping other students and watching their peers succeed, whereas it's not as much a cutthroat atmosphere where it is at other, business schools you may be looking at. So I actually found my internship through the help of my friends in my business fraternity, because they were older, they'd interned there, they'd gone on to work there. I was able to talk with them, hear about their experiences. They kind of helped me get through the interview process, and I think it's through forming those kind of relationships in the College of Business also really helps you get the jobs. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, in my business fraternity, when we graduated, my graduating class last spring, all of us were employed at graduation. The same was true for the class of 2012. Finding a job is not difficult here. If you do the work, if you do what's expected of you, you get involved, you'll have at least one offer, if not multiple.
I think the average business student has at least 2 job offers. So, last year we had more spots for interviews than we could actually fill with students. So the opportunities are definitely out there. It's really about you seeking, the ones that you're interested in, and even expanding your horizons and looking at some of the companies that maybe you've never heard of before, but they offer you an opportunity to do, some different things that you might not have thought you had the access to do in your first job. Did you guys do job shadows during your time here?
Yeah, I'm sure we can all speak to that.
Yeah.
But so freshman year, during winter break, you typically do a job shadow, which is where you go to a company in the field that you're interested in and spend the day with them. So I was interested in marketing, and I spent the day with the marketing director at Whole Foods in downtown Chicago at the regional office. So I got to spend the entire day of looking at their stores, kind of looking at their strategies, and seeing what he did kind of on a day-to-day basis. And after that day, I knew exactly that I wanted to be a marketing major. It's been a large portion of my career in marketing. So I know a lot of people have similar. You can spend the day either being like, I love this, or you can be like, I absolutely hate this, and I know that I'm going to do finance or accounting. But it's a good opportunity to see some different majors and different career options.
Did you do a job shadow?
I did do a job shadow over winter break, which was just a couple months ago. I actually job shadowed at BP in their downtown offices, and it was kind of interesting. They, just like he had said, I went through and I looked at what people do during the day, and the job shadow really is to give you kind of an opportunity to look at something that you're interested in. So I know some of you probably don't know what you want to do, and that was kind of true for me too. I knew that I wanted to do finance, but I really wasn't completely sure. So I was able to go on a job shadow that kind of focused in that field that I was interested in, and it told me a lot about what I would be doing, and it validated some of my the questions that I had, because I was able to talk to these professionals, and a lot of them were just graduated from college. So it was a really good opportunity to not only learn what I wanted to learn about a certain industry, but also kind of think about what I wanted to do in the future, and then network with people and figure that out too.
All right, so we're through the prelim questions. So if you guys watching at home have any questions, please put them in the comments box. They're happy to answer them. What would be one piece of advice you would give to all these students, other than, of course, accept your offer to Illinois? But what piece of advice would you give to them, either to coming to Illinois or just going to college in general?
Question.
I would definitely say get involved right off the bat. I know, well, if you were accepted to the Illinois College of Business, you probably were very involved in high school. And I know as an incoming freshman, that was one of my fears, was I knew when I was in high school, I was the captain of the tennis team and the president of the student body, and I had my niche, and I was comfortable, and I was kind of nervous about starting over with a blank slate. But, go to Quad Day, all the RSOs which are like all the student-run clubs in the university, are going to be there, and you can sign up, put your name on everything. They'll send you emails. You can decide what you want to get involved in. Same thing with the College of Business. You know, get involved, choose a club, get active, and I would say that's what's made my time here at the university so rewarding and so fun, and I can't believe I'm leaving in a month.
We were actually trying to stop your graduation. We don't want to tell you, but I guess this is the right place.
And kind of in addition to that, I know the biggest challenge for me was managing my time. So I think the one thing that everybody should do is like plan your schedule out during the summer. Like even if you're not doing anything, like literally like plan out your schedule and then follow it. Because I know it's kind of tough transferring from high school to college because you're at your high school from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day, and it's super easy to like plan that out because you're in one place the whole time. But like I only have class for 3 hours a day, so what else am I going to be doing with my time? So it really is tough because you can get sidetracked, and it's when you get involved too. It's tough to manage everything. So I really think the first thing that you should do is learn how to manage your time, and it will pay you so much. And I think you guys can talk about that too.
Yeah. As far as those who haven't made up their mind yet, I think my piece of advice is like, make sure that you go to the school where you see yourself fitting in the most. I think it's really easy to get caught up in like just a lot of different things about the school. But like I know for a lot of people, when they come here to the College of Business, they can just see themselves sitting in the classroom and going through their 4 years. I'm sure you guys are the exact same way. Like when I took a tour, I knew that this is where I wanted to spend my money and spend my time, quite frankly. But also take a look at where do you want to end up after school? Someplace. And look to see if those companies recruit at that school, because that gives you a pretty good indication of not only the quality of student, but the caliber of the school as well. So that's my sales pitch to you who haven't made up your mind yet.
Have any of you studied abroad? If so, what was that experience like, or if you're planning on doing it?
Did you study abroad?
I took a 2-week trip this past summer, but I did not spend a semester abroad. One of the great things about the College of Business is you can go on semester-long trips, you can go on 2-week trips over winter break, you can go on spring break. You just led a trip over spring break,
Yeah,
right?
We had 26 students and myself and my wife went to Panama and did financial literacy education in incredibly rural Panama. But it was an incredible experience for the students and what they were able to take away from it. And I think half the group were freshmen, so that was cool to have them there too.
There's a ton of different opportunities, bunch of different countries, bunch of different time lengths you can go. So I think something like, is it over 50% at this point?
Yeah, we're getting close to 60% of our students will study abroad before graduating.
So yeah, most do.
Yeah, I studied abroad for 4 months in Valendar, Germany, second semester of my sophomore year, and it was by far the best 4 months of my entire life, actually. So with the College of Business, you can actually study through the college or through the university. So if you study through the college, you take business classes abroad. So I spent 4 months in Germany and took classes at the university that transferred directly back, and like it didn't put me behind at all. But we went to this really small university of like 800 students, and all you pay, you can actually study abroad for cheaper than you can go here for a semester. So with that time and with that money, you can travel all over Europe. I know everyone who studies abroad has an awesome experience of getting to know people from all over the world, getting lost in a country that they have no idea where they're at, and then just getting, having a good time and having that freedom.
Landon, how many days a week did you have class when you were in Valendar?
I had class on Tuesday and Thursday. So I had a pretty long weekend. So that means, usually Friday morning we'd get up, look at flights someplace, or look at an app, be like, let's go there. And then we bought tickets that morning, and then we'd go someplace. So it's the only time in your life where you're going to be able to live life that spontaneously and that cheap, quite frankly, as well.
And you can start as a freshman too. I'm actually traveling abroad for a couple weeks in Brazil right after I finish my final, so I'm really looking forward to that. But it just goes to show, if you're really interested in study abroad, look at it, because there are opportunities for you to travel abroad literally every semester, every break. Anytime you want to travel abroad, there are opportunities. So if you're interested in it, I would highly suggest doing it.
All over the world too. That's what's really crazy. No matter what part of the world you want to go to, they've got a program there.
I think we just opened, one of our newest ones is in Mendoza, Argentina, and part of the experience is, I think part of it is on small business. You actually work at a vineyard winery in Mendoza.
Really?
Yeah. So we're trying to figure out ways to all go visit that. So we got a question. How competitive are internships to get within the College of Business? If you can put a kind of a range, or like maybe from personal experiences, like how many did you apply to, how many did you interview for, how many did you have offers for?
I mean, I can start. I applied for 4 internships this fall, and I accepted one at Granger. And so like most things you're going to get involved with here in college, there is kind of the competitive process to get into it. There is some statistic, like I think like for every 5 companies that you apply to, you typically get 1 offer. I think it's something like that. But it's really easy to look at all the companies that you want to apply for. And there are several different parts to recruiting here on campus. So first is an on-site interview where the recruiters will come here to the business instructional facility, and you interview with their staff, and then they will invite you to go up to their office typically and spend the day with them up there, where they have another interview, and then from there you typically have another offer.
Yeah. For my recruiting process, I actually would typically do, even before the summer, the internship, some of these big accounting firms have summer leadership programs, is what they're called. And basically, it's an extended job shadow. So you would spend anywhere between 2 and 5 days with this company the summer before, and then you'd interview for the internship the following summer. So that's kind of the way I went about the way I got my internships and then my full-time offer. It was kind of like a 3-step process. First, I did the summer leadership, then I did the internship, and now I have full-time. And it seems like a really long process, but I really liked it, because I felt like, sometimes you come in as a freshman and you're like, how do I know if I'm doing well? How do I get to know the recruiters? And I think when they start doing these like little recruiting events early on, you at least kind of get your foot in the door, the recruiters. Sometimes you get to know the people, the culture of the firm. So I kind of liked that. It was a bit of a drawn-out process, and I felt like I was connected to some of these companies throughout my entire time at the university.
And don't be stressed out if you can't get an internship as a freshman. So, because I know that there's
all common.
Yeah, it's not common at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I am interviewing for internships just because I want to see if I can get an internship, but don't be stressed out. You're going to come on this campus and see all this like internships and jobs and stuff, and you're going to like feel a little stressed out, but honestly,
you have 4 years.
You have 4 years to do this. So, like they had said, get involved in leadership stuff. Go to the career fair. Especially go to the career fair. Just start networking with these people, because it is a 4-year process. And as a freshman, just get your foot in the door. Really, that's what I have to say.
And career services allows you to do like mock interviews and resume critiques, so they kind of get you prepared for that entire process your freshman and sophomore year. So by the time junior year comes around, you're ready to roll.
That's the big reason why we admit students at the freshman level, is so that we can start working with you from day one. So like Anthony said, you're going to be in career fair, but I don't think he really gave you the time frame. Week 3 of your freshman year, you're going to career fair with like all the MBA students and all the seniors. And at that point, you're building relationships. I think if I can give you one piece of advice, because most of you will join organizations, and a lot of them will be business organizations, very regularly you'll have companies come down to campus and present to your organization. And if I can give you one piece of advice, because I've sat in on a number of these, do some research on the company before they come in, and have a few questions prepared, because those little things are how you really do end up making a name for yourself. But again, the expectation is not that you have an internship after your freshman year. Heck, a lot of times we say enjoy that freshman year, because there's a pretty good chance that's going to be the last summer that you have without work until you retire. Like 45 years. So you might want to, just take some time and enjoy it. But students who are seeking internships and, like Tracy said, are doing well in classes and involved, don't have a huge issue. Also, they're paid, so we don't believe in free labor. So typically you make like $8,000 to $10,000 for a 10-week internship over the summer, which is a pretty nice payoff.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we talked about study abroad. We talked about different majors. Maybe talk about the process. Like, how did you guys decide on your major? When did you just pick it? How like set in stone was it once you picked it?
Yeah. So I knew coming in that marketing was more than likely what I wanted to do. But then when I got here on campus and I went through the job shadow, and then just with some of the relationships with people I've built with like in business council, like I got sat down with them and talked to them like what their marketing experience is like, and then really figured out that maybe I do want to try like a marketing internship after freshman year, and then that's when I decided to go for it. The university or the college has a lot of resources for you to figure out what you want to do, whether they've got what's the thing where you sit down with all the majors.
Speed dating?
Or yeah,
speed majoring. Yeah.
I actually just did that.
Oh, really? So yeah. Go ahead.
So speed majoring is something that's really I think is super cool. They get a whole bunch of upperclassmen in business organizations that are in these different majors to sit down, and it's just basically just like speed dating. So you sit around and these people jump around the tables, and you can ask questions about any major. So you should probably do some research on the majors first before you go to like kind of figure it out. But if you have questions about like what the curriculum is like, or what kind of opportunities you'll have after graduation, or like anything like that, there are people that are there to talk to you about that. And just our career services are super cool, and they're super great. Just go in there. You can get any of your questions answered by upperclassmen or just by really anybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other nice thing is to pick your major in the college. You just click a button. You go online and click a button, or you come into our office and you fill out a piece of paper that takes about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And you have access to all majors in the College of Business. So it's not like there's a certain quota for accountancy, a certain number for finance. There's not GPA restrictions. You just pick it and it's yours. The one restriction is supply chain management. That's essentially so you know what supply chain management is. So they do an interview for that. And I think there's a 3.25 GPA cutoff. Typically, you apply for that during your sophomore year. But other than that, it's wide open for you.
You don't really have to decide until the end of your sophomore year either, right?
Yeah, you have until by the time you have to register as a sophomore. But even if you get into your classes your junior year and say, this isn't for me, the advising staff is going to work with you because again, you don't get to high percentages of graduation without working with students to make sure that you have what you need.
Yeah, the business core also, so there's classes at the College of Business, make sure that everyone takes. It's like there's a basic marketing class, a basic finance class, a basic accounting class, a basic IT class. It's like you get a basic view of what every major is like, and so that also gives you a pretty good taste of which one to major in as well.
We have a very important question. Mac or PC?
Okay, I have had a Mac from freshman year until now because I like it for aesthetic purposes, to be honest. However, a PC is probably more helpful. However, if you do choose a Mac, there is a computer lab both in the Business Instructional Facility, which is the building we're in now, which is where a lot of your business classes will be, and across the street in Woolers Hall, which is another business building. Those are like the two main areas where you have your classes. So you will have no problem getting access to a PC if you need to do like heavy Excel work, kind of stuff like that. I don't regret having a Mac. So if you already purchased it or if you're thinking about it, it really probably doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, I've had to have the PC. I've got a Mac too, and I've only had to use a PC like once, and it was like 2 weeks ago. So that's the only time that I've ever had to use a PC. Other than that, I could do everything on my Mac that I needed to.
I feel like finance people sometimes use a PC.
Yeah. You can do another thing with the Mac, and it's kind of, I don't know, you can do like parallel computing. So like you can load up a PC software on there. That's kind of confusing, but you are able to have a Mac and do all the things that a PC can do because you have the Office suite and because you have all this stuff. So I think there really only is one class that you need a PC, but you are going to be working in a group. So there's bound to be somebody in your group that has a PC that can do that work. But yeah, it really is your decision. Like I have a Mac because I like it because it's easy to use and I don't have to deal with all like the systems crashing or stuff like that. But I mean, it's what you want to do, and you have the opportunity to
get
whichever one you want.
Yeah, get something that you like because you're going to spend a lot of
time.
Get something that you can really get to know well.
So which one does Netflix work better on?
That's going to be a Mac. I spend a lot of time on there. Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. Leah, I hope that was helpful for you.
I feel like that's always the answer, whatever the answer they want to hear. But
Yeah.
it's like either one works, you'll be fine.
Macs are cooler and PCs tend to be a little more functional.
Yeah.
And Macs tend to last longer, so no ringing endorsements. All that we have, unless we get any last-second questions here. But if you guys need anything, please reach out to us. I know that you have a week before your big decision, so when you're sweating over your iPad and your computer and your phone trying to decide between 3 schools on the 30th, we're happy and we can connect you with students as well to kind of get more of their perspective. You all have my contact information. So we hope to see you here in the fall. Again, if you haven't yet, feel free, go into that My Illini account and click accept. And we're looking forward to seeing you soon. Take care.
ILL.